very soon we will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem.
The table of showbread is ready. The menorah is ready. All of the golden pieces are ready. The third temple is ready.
Just recently, the Sanhedrin, a Jewish religious authority, has called all Jews around the world to return to the Holy Land, and they should be ready to build the third temple.
It is finally happening, guys. Jerusalem has officially announced that they are building the third Solomon temple. If this happens, the prophecy of the second coming of Jesus has now officially begun. Now, this update was given to us by Israel Heritage Foundation, where they basically run all the religious operations. And now they've announced something so big that the entire world is now terrified to see what's going to be happening next.
That very soon we will all see the building of the third temple in Jerusalem.
The table of showbread is ready.
Oh my
the menorah
God.
is ready. All of the golden pieces are ready. The third temple is ready.
Our job to bring and to build the third temple.
They're also planning to slaughter 5 red cows. That paves the way for the building of the third temple, replacing the Dome of the Rock.
The red heifers imported from Texas in 2022 are now 3 years old, which means they are ready for a purification ritual according to the Torah. This makes them eligible for the ceremony needed for the third temple preparation. But why the Jews are very silent about it? Well, actually, they are not silent. The leak information from the Temple Institute officials, the red heifer ceremony will take place in the Passover holiday 2025.
So it's going to happen in holiday of 2025. Before we head further and learn about the third temple, for those of you who don't know about the red heifers, and according to the scriptures from the Torah, Bible, as well as Quran, and also the Jewish culture, it is already prophesied 5 red heifers will be sacrificed before building the third Solomon temple. And before this happens, God already said there will be red cows that are going to be born somewhere in the world. And luckily, this ended up happening in Texas, which was then informed to the Christian authorities, and they informed it to Jerusalem, and they examined this cow, and it seems like it matches the exact descriptions as to what is mentioned in the Bible's end times prophecy, that there will be these cows that are born, and these cows are going to be used in order to sacrifice them in this place where they're basically going to kill the cows, they're going to burn it, and they're going to use the ashes of these cows in order to cleanse all the tools which are going to be used in order to build the third temple. Now, without cleansing the tools with these ashes, you cannot build the third temple. So now that you've gotten this part of the story, let's go ahead and take a look at what they have to say further on.
Just recently, the Sanhedrin, a Jewish religious authority, has called all Jews around the world to return to the Holy Land, and they should be ready to build the third temple.
And we have passed that all Jews around the world have an obligation, I feel right now, to do whatever is in their power to come to Eretz Yisrael, and that is the mitzvah of the Torah, and that is...
So it seems like they're giving time for all the Israelis around the world so that they're informing them in advance, so that no matter what kind of situation you're going through in the world, they are supposed to be present for this event that's going to be taking place all around the world. So they are supposed to travel back to Israel, to Jerusalem, in order to witness one of the most important prophecies that is now taking place in order to, you can also say, as activate the second coming of Christ. Because according to the scriptures, only when this Passover happens, we will be beginning the revelation period. That's where Antichrist is going to be showing up.
The Sanhedrin has also called for global participation in the rebuilding of the third temple.
Oh, they even call him Putin.
They have reached out to world leaders, including Russian President Vladimir Putin and the current U.S. President Donald Trump, urging them to support the rebuilding the third temple. Not only that, the Sanhedrin has reached out to the Arab world, especially those descended from Ishmael, inviting them to join in the rebuilding of the third temple. This invitation is inspired by Isaiah's prophecy, which says the sons of Ishmael will bring gifts and support the temple's construction.
So the sons of Ishmael, for those of you guys who don't know, they are the Middle East guys. They are basically the Middle Eastern guys, and according to the scriptures, the sons of Ishmael will visit Israel on this event, and they'll also bring a lot of gifts in order to share the happiness that's going to take place, where they're going to be sacrificing the red heifers and beginning the final days of revelation. That it is the second coming of Christ himself.
But the Arab world didn't respond very well. The relationship between Arab countries and Israel has been quite strained recently. That's where the issue is. Even countries that had normalized relations with Israel, like the UAE, are facing internal and regional pressure due to the ongoing conflict. However, the construction of Third Temple had actually begun months ago in secret.
So that's the thing, right? Israel never really told us about this information, but it seems like they've already started building this stuff in a very secretive way, because obviously it's going to be very controversial if they kind of reveal this information. There is going to be like massive outscale war, and obviously I think that's probably why there was like Israel war that took place right now as well, and that's also part of the prophecies, right? right? The prophecy has already been fulfilled. Israel already destroyed Gaza. They took over everything, and they are now in control of the mountaintop where Al-Aqsa Mosque is present, as well as the Jerusalem is present. So in order to build this temple, what's interesting is that they need to destroy the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that's not going to be favored by most of the Arabs as well as most of the Muslims around the world, because this eventually means that they will have to break the Mosque of Muhammad, and that's not something the Muslims are going to take lightly, and this is definitely going to be causing like a major outscale war as well, and this could eventually start a full-scale World War III as well. So this, of course, a major possibility if they start building the third temple after destroying the Al-Aqsa, but then it seems like they're doing it in a very secretive way, so we don't know how things are going to work out. But as of now, they don't have a very good relationship with the Arabs, and that's something that a lot of people are concerned about.
But they did not expose it on the internet. They have learned that since they brought 5 red heifer to the Holy Land, they have captured the attention of Muslim, not only in Palestine and Middle East, but also around the world.
That's true. A lot of Muslims are keeping an eye out because they might end up destroying the Al-Aqsa Mosque anytime, any second, and that's going to start a full-scale war, like I said, because Muslims don't want this place destroyed. Christians and the Jews and everybody, they're just looking forward to it, because only if the third temple gets built, that's when the second coming of Christ is going to begin. So that's something that Ezekiel already prophesied, that he has already seen, that the third temple is going to get built no matter what. So that's eventually going to happen, and he also prophesied that Israel is going to be on a massive war where they will win the war. At the same time, they'll also be losing the war, and they will once again get chased out of their country, but then God will make them win this war, and they will get back to their place, and they will finally get their promised land. And this is where the most scariest prophecy is coming true, because it seems like, according to the prophecy, Israel is going to be taking support of some major nation, and the leader that's going to be supporting Israel in order to build this third temple is going to be controlled by the Antichrist, or he could be the Antichrist himself, and he's just going to play this role of being a best friend with Israel. And after they've completed the construction of the third temple, that's when he's going to come to power, and then there's going to be a new world order where the entire world is going to bow down to this one leader. And apparently there is not going to be any government left. There's not going to be any countries that are split up. It's just going to be like one government and then one leader, and this one guy, he is going to reveal himself as the Antichrist, and he's going to call himself as the God. He's going to sit on the throne inside the third Solomon temple, and that's what the prophecy says. Now, the interesting part is that Zionist Jews have already confirmed that they are going to be starting up the third temple's construction very soon in the holidays of 2025, and this is apparently the red heifers that they're going to be sacrificing. This is like the baby pigs of the red heifers. And for a lot of people who don't understand what's really going to be happening with the prophecies coming true, this is going to start the revelation period that's mentioned in the Bible. One of the most scariest parts of the entire Bible is the revelation, because what's going to happen in this time is the most deadliest time period to ever be alive if you're not saved by the Lord and Savior. Now, Trump's secretary Pete Hegseth also recently spoke about the third temple, which is going to be rebuilt in Jerusalem, and he called it as the next Israel annexation of the West Bank. With Trump in charge as the president, Hegseth declared that Israel should do what needs to be done, which means that Trump is in full support in order to build this third temple. Now, that's what's scary, because we never know, because according to the scriptures, it seems like the person who's going to be supporting Israel in order to build the temple is going to be Antichrist. Now, of course, there are going to be many different nations that's going to support, but then we don't exactly know who that Antichrist is until he reveals himself. But take a look at what his secretary has to say about the situation.
And today, Jennifer and I and others had a chance to go see the Western Wall of the Temple Mount, the Western Wall tunnels, so much of the old city. And as you stand there, you can't help but behold the miracle before you. And it got me thinking about another miracle that I hope all of you don't see too far away. Because 1917 was a miracle. 1948 was a miracle. 1967 was a miracle. 2017, the declaration of Jerusalem as the capital was a miracle. And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
That is true. That is true. If all of these things have already come true, then why wouldn't this happen as well? I mean, that's definitely going to happen.
I don't know how it would happen. You don't know how it would happen.
But then it's going to happen.
Could happen. That's all I know. And a step in that process a step in every process, is the recognition that facts and activities on the ground truly matter. And that's why going and visiting Judea and Samaria, understanding that sovereignty, the very sovereignty of Israeli soil, and Israeli cities, locations, is a critical next step to showing the world that this is the land for Jews and the land of Israel. And I believe,
this is going to be crazy because every single prophecy from Israel becoming a nation in 1948 and then Jerusalem becoming the capital of Israel, and then there was this Israel war that started happening in 2018, which also came true once again in 2023, 2024, and 2025. There's like major all-scale war, and Israel basically ended up winning the war. They destroyed Hamas, and that's basically the political side of things. But if you look at what's the real cause of these war that's happening around in the Middle East, is basically for the religious purpose, where they're trying to build a third temple. They need to claim back their lands, but then they were unable to do it for all these years, which is promised by God to the people of Israel. And it seems like Trump has always been strongly believing that this whole thing is going to eventually happen. And in 2025, it's happening. And trust me, guys, Revelation is not something that's supposed to be taken lightly. If you haven't read your Bible, now is the time. You should at least go ahead and read the chapter of Revelation and some of the prophecies that's actually coming true. And for those of you guys who don't know that prophecies have already come true, I just made this video yesterday. Make sure to go ahead and check out this video in particular, because it's going to give you guys like the full information about all the prophecies that has now officially come true before we take the first step into Revelation after the Jews build the third temple. Now, Nick here updates us about the situation of red heifers, and it seems like the red heifers are going to be ready for sacrifice by September of 2025. Which is the holidays of 2025, and it'll take about 42 months in order to complete the construction of the third holy temple. And 42 months means that the temple is going to be completed in the month of March or April of 2029. And what's interesting is that the person that's going to be supporting in order to build the third temple, which is America and President Trump, where it is also going to be the same month where Trump is going to be completing his second term as president at the White House, and that is also the perfect time when the new leader that's going to be supporting Israel is going to arrive. But it definitely seems like he could end up being Antichrist. The world is waiting for it, because whoever is going to be supporting Israel in this endeavor in order to build the temple is definitely going to be the one. So it's a very interesting timeline that we're going to live in. All the prophecies are coming true, and definitely this is one of the most craziest prophecies that is currently happening right now. Let me know down below in the comments if you have anything to share about the Revelation. You really ask every single one of you guys that have already been a Christian or a believer to go ahead and share some of the wisdom down below in the comments, because there's always people that are trying to understand what's going on, and they're basically new to all of these things that's going on. They've never read the Bible or Quran or any scriptures, so they're not really aware or updated about what's really going on. So if you guys could just go ahead and help them out in the comments, that would really make a lot of difference. So I hope you guys do your part in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. Please make sure to go ahead, drop a like on this video, because if you like this video, the video is going to get recommended to more people, and more people are going to learn about the truth of what's really going on around the world. So your support is absolutely appreciated, because every time I notice 60% of the guys, they just watch the video, they don't interact, they don't like the video nor dislike the video, they just watch it and move on without any interaction. So I would really appreciate it if you guys could just take a few seconds of your valuable time by dropping a like. It really goes a long way. It helps the channel, it helps the video get more attention, and in order to reach more people. So you're doing a major part in order to spread the good word. And with that being said, if you guys want to see more content like these, make sure to go ahead, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on, and I will see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.